About 5 months ago, when I was designing the logic for custom parameters for level or map creation, I made a mistake. Well, I noticed it after a few weeks once I started using it, but always found a workaround. But this time, I found myself stuck into one problem that had no solution. And it all started when I worked in the garden maze level. This level will be composed of areas like this where you will have to fight some enemies. And after defeating them, choose a gate to go to the next area. Every time you enter the garden maze, it will be randomized, and there is only one path to the exit. Any other will take you back to the entrance. After taking all gates, you will need to find some artifact that will guide you through the maze to find the exit. But that is for next week's update. Until this moment all seems to be working fine, so the first thing I had to create besides the maze was a way to duplicate levels, so I can modify the copy a little bit, instead of duplicating every sprite manually. So I added that functionality, and I can now duplicate levels easily with just a single click. The next step that I needed to implement was that once you return back to the entrance here, all triggers that spawn enemies have to be reset. Otherwise the next time you go in, no enemies will be spawned. The first problem I had is that enemies can only be triggered once per game until you die, or once per game like the tutorials. There is no reset while playing or reaching certain places. Even if I add into this list, how will I know that I need to reset it unless I check every single trigger in the level? That can be very time consuming. So the best solution is to add a list of triggers that will be reset once you take a gate. Now the problem is that 5 months ago I only implemented some data types like numbers, text, a list of text, scene items like sprites, and areas that can be used as triggers, collision detection, sound, and others. In this garden maze I use multiple triggers, so I can only reset one area, while I can do a workaround at area 1, area 2, area 3, and so on. That is a workaround, but that is not nice. So I have a better solution, and that is to enable list of scene items or sprites, and list of areas like triggers, so I can reset all the ones I need to once a gate is taken. Sounds easy to add, but I avoided that 5 months ago because I had some issues with it. Anyways, making the long story short, I implemented that change, but took me quite many days, since I completely forgot how that code worked. But finally I can add multiple areas or sprites as a list of items. This solved this issue, but took quite a lot of time to make. On top of this, I started designing new enemies and new sprites for the garden maze. And that's it for this week, a very short update since most of the changes were in code and logic. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to support my work, please click like and subscribe and click on the notification bell so you do not miss my next update. Thank you so much for watching my journey. See you next week.
Whoa!